It's the new year, so I thought it would be fun to share all my like crafty goals for this coming year. So patterns I want to try, things I want to make, and like new hobbies that I want to try. So it's mostly crochet and knit things, but there are some other things like beadwork, paper art, and then some other stuff. So yeah, hopefully you can get some inspiration from this video for your own projects. So the first thing that I want to work on this year is my yarn stash, and then mostly how big it is. So I've got these two cubes here that are filled with yarn. I've got some yarn over here, and I also have a few bags that are filled with some yarn. So I definitely need to work on that. I really want to make projects that uses the yarn that I have. So when I started crocheting and knitting, I would find like some pretty yarn in a store, and I would just grab a couple of skeins from it, and I would think like I'll find a pattern for it later. I'm just going to buy a couple of skeins so that I will have enough to make like a top or a sweater or something, but I wouldn't have like a specific project in mind. And that was definitely a mistake, because some of that yarn still is like living in my storage and I've never touched it. I just never like found a pattern for it. So these days I don't buy any yarn unless it's either like super pretty, or I like know what I want to make with it, because if I just keep buying yarn and not having like a project for it, then my yarn storage will just keep growing, and you know, I'll have a house full of yarn, which is definitely not what we want. So this yellow yarn is one of those skeins that I bought when I first started crocheting. So it's this really pretty like light yellow yarn. It's a bit thinner yarn, but it's definitely really gorgeous. It just has been sitting in my yarn storage for like the past 2 years because I didn't find a pattern for it yet. It's really pretty, but I think it's kind of like a specific color that you need like a specific like pattern for it to make it look good. So yeah, I haven't found that yet. But the other day I saw this cardigan on TikTok, which basically uses the same color. So I immediately looked up the pattern because I was like, that is what I'm going to be making. Finally found something. But apparently you can only buy the pattern with like a yarn kit and not buy the pattern separately. So that's definitely a shame because the cardigan is so pretty. But then I found this pattern on YouTube, which is kind of similar. It's also like a flowery cardigan, you know, like a short cardigan, exactly what the other one was. So I think I'm going to be using this yarn for that pattern. I actually never tried anything with a zipper before, so that's definitely going to be a new experience. But I think this will look really pretty in this yarn. So yeah, I'm going to try and make that this year. Then I actually got some new yarn for Christmas. It was so pretty, I just couldn't not buy it, even though I'm trying to buy less yarn. So it's this really pretty yarn with some like pinks and purples and a bit of orange. And it's just so gorgeous. I'm so happy I got this. So it's actually this kind of like feathery yarn, which I actually never worked with. And I've seen people on the internet say that it's quite difficult to work with. So it's definitely going to be an experience to make something with this. But yeah, I don't know what to make with it yet. So if you have any pattern ideas, definitely let me know. Then I really want to make another blanket this year. So in 2023 I knitted this blanket, and it's really nice. I still really love it. I just don't really love the colors that I used, and it's kind of a bit basic. It was like right when I first started learning crochet and knit, so it was definitely not like a super crazy difficult pattern or something. So yeah, I just really want to make another one so that I'll have a blanket that I'll actually love, that I can use all the colors in it that I want. And yeah, I definitely will still be using this one because it was my first knitting project actually. So it definitely holds like a special place in my heart. So I definitely still be using this one, but I just want to make another one. But I was first planning to use this kind of like retro flower pattern for the blanket. I really love it. I'm sure you've seen it on the internet. A bunch of people have made it. I've seen it a couple of times on TikTok and it's really pretty. I love the flowers and I love that you can just make like individual squares so that you can like kind of space out the project and not have like a huge blanket like while you're working it, because with the other one I made, I had like in the end I had this like entire blanket on me while I was knitting it, which is fine if it's the winter time, but if it's summertime that's just not really nice. So for this one you can just make the individual squares, which is easier I think. So yeah, I was first planning on making that, but then I saw this girl on TikTok the other day that made this, which is just so gorgeous. Like I don't know how anyone came up with this, but it's so pretty. And now I low-key kind of want to make like squares of these and like turn them into a blanket. It definitely looks like a lot of work, so I definitely should probably just like make this and turn it into a pillow or something and not a like full-sized blanket. But it's so gorgeous, so I'm kind of thinking about it. Like I don't know, I'll maybe just make one square and then see how long that actually takes me to see if I can actually turn this into a blanket. But like, wouldn't that be so cool and so pretty? It will probably take me like 2 years to finish or something, but it would be so cool. So I'm thinking about doing that. So one of the first things I'm going to do this year is try to fix this sweater. So I'm sure you've seen this on my channel. It's a pattern by Jenny and Teddy Crochet on YouTube. So she explains it very well in the video. It's a really easy like stitch and pattern. I just like didn't check how like thick my yarn was compared to hers. So I definitely like really messed up the sizing. So it's definitely way too tight. It's way too short. It's like a cropped sweater, but like I already made it longer and it's still really short. So I definitely messed up on my end. Definitely not her fault. The pattern is amazing, so definitely try it out if you want to make one, but do check like your yarn size. But yeah, the stitch of the sweater is so gorgeous. I'm so in love with it. And also the color that I use, I'm really loving. So that is one of the first things that I'm going to try to fix this year. I'm also currently working on this sweater. So it's the Aster sweater by Mikaya, also on YouTube, also a free pattern. And it basically uses the same stitch, I think. I just used some thinner yarn for this, so it looks a bit different, but it's so gorgeous so far. I just finished the front panel and I'm currently working on the sleeve. So yeah, really loving this and just going to continue crocheting this year. Then I've been wanting to try this pattern, so I showed you this a couple of times in some other videos. It's actually a hair bow, but I think this would look so pretty like on the wall by my desk. So I really want to make this, and that is definitely going to be happening this year. Then another thing that I've been wanting to try for a while now, and it's crochet flowers. So I actually started on one like a couple of months ago. I made like a flower petal and a leaf or something, but I kind of quickly gave up because it was so much work and it was like so fiddly, and I don't know, I didn't really enjoy it. But I think crochet flowers look so cool, and I keep seeing them from like other people, and I just really want to make like a bouquet this year, because I think that would look so cool in your living room to have like some crochet flowers in a vase or something, so you don't always have to have like fresh flowers. So yeah, that's definitely a goal of mine this year. Even though it takes a long time, just try it and don't give up. Then I really want to get back into knitting this year. So last year I knitted a bit at the beginning of the year, I think. I finished like the knitted blanket that I was speaking about earlier, and I think I knitted like one sweater, and that I just never knit again. So that's definitely a goal for this year, to get back into knitting, even though it's like definitely more difficult to, than crochet. I just really don't understand how to fix mistakes in knitting, but I've seen a bunch of people on Instagram like getting into knitting, a bunch of crocheters that are actually starting to learn how to knit. So now I really want to get back into it as well. And I've seen some really pretty like color work sweaters that I really want to try, like really pretty like patterns on it, like this one from Cass Wong. It is so gorgeous. She's currently doing a like tester call for this, and it's like so gorgeous. I'm definitely going to try to make this once the pattern is out. Then I came across this like crochet kimono the other day on YouTube, and now I really want to make one for myself. Maybe I can use some yarn in my stash that like I bought previously but like never have done anything with. So yeah, I'm definitely going to try to make this somewhere this year. Then I've got a bunch of sweaters saved on like my Instagram and TikTok and stuff that I just see while scrolling, and that are so pretty. Not sure if I'm ever going to end up making them, but I always just save them, and yeah, maybe someday I'll try to make some of them. I'll show you them on the screen right now. Then another thing I really want to try this year is freeform crochet. So if you don't know what that is, it's just like basically how I understand it is that you just crochet without a pattern, like do double crochets, do single crochets, and just like work in the round and make this kind of like shape that like basically isn't really a pattern. It's just how you feel like in that moment, and I really want to try it because it looks really cool. There's definitely like a technique behind it. I think you definitely need to learn how to do it, but some people make like such cool things, so I definitely want to try that. Then I want to give tapestry crochet another go. I've tried that before, and I just like, I don't know, I just couldn't get the hang of it. I just like kept getting my yarn tangled, and I was just not having fun. But I've seen people make like the most amazing things on like TikTok and Instagram, and I really want to give it another go this year, so that's another goal. Then I really want to try this kind of like striped knitwear. I've seen this on a bunch of pages, and I just keep saving like the patterns because it just looks so gorgeous, and I really want to try it. It looks kind of difficult, but I'm just going to give it a go and see like how it works. I also really want to make some crochet earrings, so I've seen a bunch of really cool ones on Instagram. I'll show you a couple on the screen right now, but they look so cool, and I definitely want to incorporate some beads into it as well. I've been really into like bead art and like embroidery things, like basically things where they combine like crochet, like punch needling, like beads and embroidery. Like I've been really loving that, so I'm definitely going to try more of that this year. And then staying on like the bead theme, I've seen a couple of people make like bead flowers. Like this lavender one, it looks so cool, so I definitely want to try that. I already tried making like some beaded fishies last year, which turned out so cute. So I definitely want to do more like bead art this year. Then I also really want to try some more punch needling this year. So I tried it for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and I made my first artwork with it, and it's so fun. It's definitely really hard. It's like so many things went wrong, but it was so fun. So I definitely want to try that more often this year. I also would really like to try like paper art this year. Not sure how this is called, but people use like different colored papers to make like an artwork and like kind of make it 3D by putting like some foam or like some things underneath. And people make such cool things with it. I actually tried it myself one time. I like cut out all of the pieces, but I actually never stuck it together. So I definitely need to like continue on that and try to learn some more about it. Then I would really love to relearn how to use this thing. So it's called French knitting, I think, and you basically like have some yarn here at the top, and it will go in here and then create like an I-cord here. It will come out of the bottom, and I've seen people make like flowers with it, some letters, anything like that. So this one is actually pretty old. I actually used this when I was a kid, and I used to like make some things with this, but I kind of forgot how it works. So I'm going to try to relearn how to do this, because I would really love to make some, I don't know what exactly, but make some kind of artwork with it or something. I think this would look really cool in an artwork with like punch needling and like beadwork, embroidery, you know, like I was talking about before, just using a bunch of different things to create like one artwork. So yeah, I'm going to try to relearn how to do this. And then I also really want to try something else. I'm not sure what this is called, but I recently found a page on TikTok that does a bunch of these things. So you just basically put like some plastic beads with different colors in a certain pattern, and then you like iron over it so it kind of gets like fused together. And then you can make like little magnets. I've seen people make like flowers with it and like bend them while they were hot. So you can make like a flower shape. Like you can make so many things with this. So my nephew has actually been obsessed with Mario lately, and that person that I found on TikTok actually has a couple of videos where he makes like Mario themed magnets using that technique. So I really would love to try and make that for him, because I think my nephew will like really love that. So yeah, that's everything that I want to try this year. I'll try to update this like halfway through the year or something, because I think it will definitely have changed a lot by then. Like there are so many cool things that like I see on the internet daily. People are so talented and make such cool things. Like I basically want to try everything. So I'm definitely going to be adding to this list throughout the year. But yeah, hopefully you got some inspiration from it. And definitely let me know in the comments below like what your plans are for this year. Things you want to make, patterns you want to try. Like inspire me as well, because I can definitely add to this list. So yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. I wish you all a good day, and hopefully until next time. Bye!